hearing like an option.
Yeah.
Someone's phone. Online. Check your phone, guys.
Again, we are waiting for officials to give us an update after a police officer was shot in North Bayshore. Again,
Right,
we're
good morning,
giving this to you
everybody.
live. Listen in.
Yesterday, around 4:35 p.m., Suffolk County Police Department received a 911 call regarding a man found deceased in a wooded lot across from 19 New York Avenue in Bayshore. The man was a victim of a homicide. Detectives made a tentative identification. While we are not releasing the victim's name at this time, we can tell you that he is 66-year-old male. During the course of the investigation, a homicide squad detectives identified a person of interest connected to the man's death. The victim and suspect, a 48-year-old, are known to one another. Detectives obtained a search warrant for the suspect's house, and officers began to set up a perimeter. While the officers were attempting to execute the search warrant, the suspect began to fire several shots from inside the home. One of these bullets struck a 3rd Precinct officer in the face. The officer, who never lost consciousness, was immediately transported to South Shore University Hospital in Bayshore. He then was transferred to Stony Brook University Hospital, where he underwent surgery to remove the bullet. The officer, who is 33 years old and has been on the job for 2 years, is in stable condition and under the care of Dr. James Voswinkle. Back at the scene, officers tactically retreated from the perimeter, and the hostage negotiation team responded. While our hostage negotiation team was attempting to make contact, a tactical drone was also being deployed. At about 5:50 p.m., our hostage negotiation team made contact, and at 6:09 a.m., the suspect surrendered. Prior to surrendering, when our hostage negotiation team, when our ESU team deployed the tactical drone, that same male from inside the house fired 7 rounds at our officers, striking one of our vehicles 7 times. I want to commend all of the officers involved who displayed great restraint. No officer fired their weapons. Nobody returned fire. Policing is a challenge, and we are reminded once again that an officer's life can be threatened in a split second. I want to commend South Shore University Hospital and Stony Brook University Hospital for the great care they have provided to our officer. And again, thank Dr. Voss for all the great work he did. If it was not by the grace of God, this press conference would be a lot different today. Any questions?
Yes, Commissioner, we heard that K-9 was being brought in. Is there any reason to think that there could potentially be more bodies in that wooded area?
No, there's no reason to believe there are more bodies in that wooded area. We think it's an isolated incident.
What is the nature of the dispute between the deceased and you said they were known to each other? What was the nature of their relationship?
It seems that they had worked together previously at some point, and they had prior disputes in the past.
What line of work?
I believe they were mechanics.
How were you able to identify who the suspect was so quickly?
It's still an ongoing investigation, but we were able to get some video camera footage from the scene, ring camera footage, and that helped in identifying the suspect.
When do you believe the deceased was killed?
Yesterday afternoon, just before that call at 4:35.
And when you say you got video from the scene, do you mean the scene of the shooting itself?
Well, it all happened in that, kind of proximity to the initial homicide scene. So we were able to get video that helped us identify the suspect and subsequently obtain a search warrant and ultimately, attempt to execute that search warrant.
Can you talk a little bit more, too, about the fact that no shots were fired back? Maybe elaborate a little more about training that your officers have gotten on not escalating a situation and how that works here.
Yeah, it's a great point. I mean, they did an amazing job. I mean, they didn't fire back just to fire back, right? They tactically retreated, set up a perimeter, and conducted a very, very safe operation, and ultimately were successful in it without returning fire. So I commend them for that job.
Dr. Voss, is it possible just to talk about the injuries? I mean, getting shot in the face?
Want me to speak?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Good afternoon, everybody. We're very fortunate today because, as you mentioned, getting shot in the face is a very lethal type area to be shot. This officer's wound was literally a half-inch away from his eye. Okay, it was up on his cheek. It fractured his cheekbone, and it was lodged beneath his ear. If that was over half an inch, if that was at a different angle, unfortunately, he's at least blind, if not, unfortunately, not with us anymore, especially in that part of the skull. So, you know, from that perspective, as I said, it goes to show you, once again, as being the civilian here, what our sworn police officers do for us, the risks they take, and how close something can come between life and death. You know, my colleagues at Southside did a great job assessing and stabilizing him. He was transferred here. We did definitive surgery on him. Amazingly, he has no nerve damage from where this went, and he should make a complete and full recovery, which is one of the best things I can tell the public, considering what our officers do for us.
Was the bullet in his cheek?
We had to surgically remove the bullet, yes, from his face.
How long will he be in here?
It's going to be a brief stay. You know, fortunately, as I said, we're extremely, extremely fortunate because, as I said, a half inch over or at a different bit of an angle, we have a gunshot to the brain, and it's those are very highly fatal.
This was a straight shot, not a ricochet?
I don't know trajectories. You know, I know obviously that this was a projectile bullet with high velocity. So for something to go in, and you know, we can see where it burns the skin, how fast it's going in, to fracture your cheekbone, and to go past that, and even to go further, you know, no, this was a serious gunshot wound. This wasn't a graze. This was a shot. We're just extremely, extremely fortunate where it went.
Commissioner, can you tell us his rank and how long he's been with the police department?
He's a police officer. He's been with the police department for 2 years. He was a combat medic in the Navy as well for 4 years.
How about the suspect? Can you tell us, identify him, tell us maybe about a criminal history or?
He has a criminal history, not an extensive criminal history, but he does have a criminal history. And again, you know, this is very, very fresh, so we still have you know, a lot to investigate still. So we're not going to release any names.
Did you say what?
We're not certain what kind of weapon it was at this point. No.
Was the shot that the officer sustained shot through a door, a window, or directly at?
No, we believe it was direct.
When he opened the door?
When the officers were getting ready to execute the search warrant, the door was opened at some point, I believe, and that's when he fired the rounds.
Have you been able, any of you, to speak with the officer, and if so, can you just tell us what he said, particularly noting that he is a medic himself, so how aware is he of just how very fortunate he is in this case?
So I spoke to him a little while ago. He's got a smile on his face. I think he's in a lot of pain, but I think he understands that, yeah, this could have gotten a lot worse. So I think, you know, he's happy to be alive, and we're happy that he is alive. So, but he's in good spirits, and he's getting taken care of well. So we're all very fortunate.
Do you have determined the cause of death for the victim yet? I'm sure you looked, were you able to determine it was a homicide so quickly?
He had wounds that were indicative of homicidal violence, so it was apparent that he was the victim of a homicide.
And are charges pending at this point?
Yes.
What type of wounds? Gunshots? Lacerations?
They appeared to be lacerations.
I was notified about the shooting about 3 a.m. when our police commissioner called us. It's one of the calls that you don't want to get. It's one of the calls that you dread getting, that one of the members of your police force has been injured in the course of his duty. But I have to say, our thoughts and prayers are with him, his wife, his 3 children, his whole family. We are all behind him. I have many of my colleagues here from the county legislature, county government, from the PBA, from the police department. We're all rallying for him and hoping for the best. I will say it is a shame that these things happen, but I've got to tell you, I have great respect for this police department and for his partner who got him medical treatment almost immediately, and for the police officers that backed off a situation that could have been far more lethal and chose not to engage, and not one shot was fired by the Suffolk County Police. So, very professional, and in the end, The suspect surrendered of his own volition. We have him in custody, and I'm sure the district attorney will take the appropriate action regarding this. But clearly, the police department and all of its members are to be thanked for their professionalism. And lastly, I always want to thank my good friend, Dr. Voss. He seems to come to the rescue to help our police officers in need when they're wounded. Today is a lucky day that this is not life-threatening. It's painful. It's going to hurt for a long time, probably some scarring. But this officer is going to survive. And I cannot thank his colleagues for their professionalism. And the suspect is in custody, will be charged appropriately by the district attorney's office, and we will continue to do what we do, what these men in uniform do, which is to keep Suffolk safe. And they do it at the risk of their lives, as you can see. You don't know when a situation can turn violent in a second. This was simply serving a warrant. Who knew that this guy would start shooting, shoot at police vehicles, shoot at police officers? I give the men and women who wear this uniform great respect, and I thank God that they're there to protect all of us. Thank you. I'm going to turn this back to our police commissioner, who's done an outstanding job. If there's any questions, I'll take them.
I'm sorry, did you say he's married with 2 children? I apologize.
I believe he has 3 children, but the police commissioner would know. I believe he's married and he has 3 kids. So obviously, they're all there. They're praying for his recovery. We're all praying for his recovery. And we are thankful that that bullet did not do the devastating damage that it could have done. But for the grace of God, today, we still have a police officer that we might not have had he turned his face one direction or another. That might have been, we might be talking about a totally different situation. So, thank God. And we're all rooting and praying for him and hoping that he will recover. And again, my thanks to the men and women who wear the uniform that protect us, who showed great restraint, who were able to bring this incident to an end without firing one shot. Thank you.
John?
No.
Thank you, County Executive. Good morning, everybody. My name is John Natt. I'm the first Vice President of the Suffolk County Police Benevolent Association. I just came for visiting our officer. He's recovering under the care of Dr. Voss Winkle and the medical team at Stony Brook. Hopefully he will make a full recovery. But the emotional and the physical scars will unfortunately be with him forever. Our hearts are with him and his family, as well as the victim of the homicide last night, so our prayers go out to them as well. Unfortunately, and many of you know, too many times over these past few years, we've been up here in a similar situation, where an officer has been wounded in the line of duty. This is clear evidence that violent crime in New York is not down. Despite what many elected officials will tell you and what they will tout, violent crime is not down. Attacks on police officers are not down. I find it ironic that I attended a police press conference yesterday where the governor was touting reduction in crime on Long Island. And yet here again we stand when one of our officers was wounded in the line of duty. Every single day our officers go out, they put on a uniform not knowing what dangers they will face. Their sons, their daughters, mothers, fathers, they're your neighbors. But they go out and face these dangers regardless. We stand behind our wounded officer. We're here for his family. Offer any support we need. We ask the community pray for him and his family as well. And just know that, being a police officer comes with many sacrifices that often the public doesn't see. Today you see it firsthand, what police officers go through. Thank you.
Any more questions for the commissioner?
I do. Commissioner, sorry, do you think that this incident could have been gang-related?
No, we have no indication that it's gang-related.
And perhaps for the PBA, or do you know if this, I know he was a new officer 2 years, but any commendations or just anything anecdotally that someone who knows him?
Again, he's a veteran, and I know he served honorably in the Navy. So, and it's just a tough kid. You know, he's up, he's alert, he's conscious, and he's talking to us. He's got a gigantic wound on the side of his face, and again, tough enough to sit up and greet me when I walked in. So, I think the world of the kid, and his fellow officers said the same. They said he's just a great, hardworking, really, just a good cop. So, thoughts and prayers are with him.
Do we have any combat medic and he gets shot? Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, that's ironic, but I'm sure it helped. He was calm at the scene. His partner drove him to the hospital in the police car. So, I know they were kind of collaborating on that, and that probably helped. So.
Do we have any ballistic information on what was the caliber of the?
We haven't determined yet. It was kind of crushed. It appears to be maybe a 380. In that range, 32 or 380. That's what it appears to be at this point.
The same gun that shot the officer was also used with.
We really don't know. We have not made those determinations yet. There's still ballistics that we need to recover from the police department vehicles that were hit. So once we do that, we'll be able to compare it. So there's still a lot of work to be done on it.
And can you just touch on this? It was a lot happened, it seems like, in a short period of time. A man was killed, you found him, you found the suspect, an officer was shot. Just so much happened, a lot of work to get to that point. Just talk about kind of the logistics of all that and, the emotions behind all that.
Yeah, the detectives did a great job right out of the gate. When they received this call, they recognized right away that it was a homicide. They immediately started to canvass for video, and when they found video, they acted on it right away. And again, throughout the course of the night, they were able to develop probable cause. But that takes a lot of work. Homicides, it's not like TV where homicides get solved in an hour. This case was about as close to that as you could get. These men and women worked extremely hard to get where they got, and went up and tried to safely take a murderer into custody, and unfortunately they were met with extreme violence. So they were all lucky to be alive, and we're lucky that our officer is still with us.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Suffolk Police Commissioner just speaking there, wrapping a press conference up. We're just now learning an officer was shot in the face and a suspect is now in custody. This all began yesterday after police found a body in North Bay Shore. Now, he is a 66-year-old man. Police did not release his identity at this time, but police say victim and the suspect, they actually knew each other. Now, when officers tried to serve a search warrant on the suspect's house, shots were fired, a total of 7 shots, in fact, into a police vehicle. No officers fired shots. Again, one officer was hit in the face. The suspect later surrendered. The wounded officer underwent surgery to remove the bullet. Doctors say the bullet missed the officer's eye by a ½ inch and lodged near his ear, in fact. The officer is in stable condition. The Suffolk Police Commissioner said the suspect and victim worked together. And we have reporters working on this story. So for more on this breaking story, go to Newsday.com, click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. Read more on this breaking story on Newsday.com, click Get More below the Newsday TV video box.